What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Film Jump with Jesse and Chris. Today we're going to be talking about the Oscars and all the nominations that just came out and why the Oscars do not matter. No, just kidding. They actually do matter for a lot, but we're going to give you the reasons why they do and why they don't, and why a lot of this stuff is just going to be gone after March. So, Chris, tell me about some of the nominations here.
All right, so the big story is that Oppenheimer has 13 nominations. Essentially, I mean, Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Original Score, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Sound Design, Best Adapted Screenplay.
Basically, it was nominated for all of them except for original song and VFX.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Just production design, sound, makeup, and hairstyling, costume design, film editing, cinematography. That covers them all.
Hashtag Oppenheimer sweep.
I don't know if something like Emily Blunt for Best Supporting Actress, maybe, but it's like I would not be shocked at all if she doesn't get that one.
Yeah, I predicted 12 on Twitter, but then I was surprised that I got makeup and hairstyling. Yeah, that one kind of I'm like, it's good, but I didn't know it was Oscar worthy. Yeah. So I predicted 12, and as far as wins go, I'm gonna say probably, if I'm being conservative, like 8. Yeah. 8 total, maybe 9.
It would be really cool to see it land 11. To see it match the record. That would only make it the 4th film in history to have that many, and 11 is the record. That would be nice. When you've got 13 nominations, it's always possible. But somewhere in the 8 to 10 range, seems reasonable. You can't expect it to win it all. It's Nolan's 12th film, so maybe it'll win 12, and that'd be iconic.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Oppenheimer is the movie right now. It is the movie. It's got all the momentum, I feel like. I wanted to take everything. I wanted to get all of them. Yeah, everything it's nominated for, I wanted to get.
Yeah, the Oscars, they're struggling with relevancy and attention and ratings and things of that nature. So, sometimes in this kind of situation, one big hit, popular, critically acclaimed film that can kind of come in and dominate, that can make headlines and that can make people kind of pay attention, as opposed to awarding all of the random films that barely anyone saw or anyone even knows that exist. You know, how many average people know what the heck Poor Things was?
Well, so a stat I recently heard, and it doesn't really apply to Oppenheimer, but it's close, is that it's been 20 years since the highest-grossing domestic movie won Best Picture. It was last done with Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Was that Return of the King? And famously went 11 for 11 for that award
now,
show.
Barbie is the highest grossing of last year. It's not going to get Best Picture. It's just not.
No.
If it does,
that would be egregious.
I'll boycott. It needs to be Oppenheimer or Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
But anyways, so, you said a long time ago, and I know it's true, like the Oscars used to be notorious for, let's reward like Best Picture for the least grossing movie of all time.
It almost felt like they would intentionally see, like, okay, what sold the fewest amount of tickets and was the least noticed by the audiences at large? That's what we have to let them know was Best Picture.
Oh, everybody in the world saw Avatar. We're going to give it to The Hurt Locker.
Exactly.
Nobody saw that.
Yeah, it felt like that was some weird kind of narrative they were pushing. I don't know. I don't know.
So, we'll move on. A really big surprise for me, a really big surprise for many fans out there, all of us diehard fans.
Yeah.
Godzilla Minus One, the first Godzilla film in history to be nominated for an Academy Award, Best Visual Effects. How do we feel about it?
Yeah, and also noteworthy, the first Japanese film to ever be nominated for Best Visual Effects Oscar.
Oh, that's
first
so
Japanese
true.
film ever, and it's huge and it's significant, and I key into things. 2024 is the original Godzilla film's 70th anniversary. Yep. So to win the Best VFX Oscar for a franchise where the original film in 1954 revolutionized effects, and it's kind of, the director was also the visual effects supervisor on this film, it feels like a great recognition of this film, a great sort of 70th anniversary present for the franchise, for a pop culture icon. It just feels like there's a lot of meaning behind Godzilla, a Toho Godzilla film, winning the Best Visual Effects Oscar. There'd just be a lot of weight and meaning behind it, and it would be something really special to see.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Fingers crossed for Godzilla. I hope it wins. And that's what I mean by for movies like that, for actors and actresses that aren't already megastars like your Leo DiCaprio's,
Yeah.
For stuff like that, the Oscars do matter.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much over in Japan, but the awards recognition is bleeding over into Japan because they just recently announced all the nominations that Minus One got, and it's like nominated for everything.
Yeah, at the Japanese Academy Awards, Minus One is basically their Oppenheimer for this year. It's essentially nominated for every major award, and it will probably, Godzilla sweep those awards. So good on it. But it is nice, and the Godzilla franchise is a long spanning franchise, like we said, 70 years, and it's nice that even now the series is still hitting new highs and checking new accomplishments and getting new recognition and success in ways that it hadn't before. Like, it's still elevating its status and place in pop culture. That's always nice to see. It's not stale. It's not over the hill.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a conversation right now surrounding Barbie and the fact that Margot Robbie
wasn't nominated for Best Actress.
Yep, and Greta Gerwig did not get the nomination for Best Director.
Yep.
However, it received 8 nominations total, including Best Picture, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best everything else, right?
Yeah, and if it wins Best Picture, I'm pretty sure Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig would be winning the Oscar because they were producers on the film.
Yeah.
The producers win for Best Picture, folks.
A lot of people don't know that. Producers get it for the Best Picture, not the directors.
Exactly. Unless the director is also a producer, which often happens, but that's not always the case.
Right. So a lot of people are up in arms in that. Hillary Clinton just came out and tweeted, don't come unalive us after we release this, the Clintons. But Hillary Barbie just came out and said that she feels bad that you didn't take home the gold. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
The film walked away with $1.5 billion.
1.6.
Oh my gosh! I thought it was like 1.4 something.
The less that Washington D.C. intermingles with Hollywood, the more happy I am in general. So I don't care for stuff like that. It's like, quit digging for retweets, Hillary Clinton.
And also, there's just a lot of people who are like, oh, well, another year, all the deserving white men are winning these awards. But here's the thing, Anatomy of a Fall, that director is female. She was nominated for Best Director this year.
Yeah, exactly.
There can only be 5 nominations.
And people were acting like, it would, like, Barbie was going to get one acting nomination and it was either going to be Margot Robbie or Ryan Gosling. It's like they were in 2 separate categories. Margot Robbie didn't lose to Ryan Gosling. She lost to the people in the Best Actress category.
Yep.
Like, they have nothing to do with each other being nominated. And yeah, believe it or not, people are like, how do you nominate the film for Best Picture and Best Supporting Actor, but not the actress that they were supporting? It's like, are you high? Like, that's like saying, like, Heath Ledger couldn't have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor unless Christian Bale was also nominated for Best Actor. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. There's a reason they have categories. It's so that each film that can have a highlight and have a best of that category. It's not best overall. It's not your holistic, what was the best feminist movie overall. It's like, these are just going by category, and Ryan Gosling killed it. Sorry, but he did.
Yeah. Sorry that the man in the feminist movie was nominated. It's just, and here's the thing, that they're overshadowing and they're not celebrating the real accomplishment from Lily Gladstone and Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah. Apparently, fact check me if I'm wrong, but the first Native American woman to be nominated for Best Actress.
Yeah, and they don't care about that because it's not the hot, sexy pick, so if you will. It's not the, oh, yes, Queen, Margot Robbie, Barbie, fight the patriarchy kind of narrative that they're wanting to do. It's like, it's a movie that none of the ladies rooting for Margot Robbie probably saw at all.
Right.
So
and this is what I mean by the Oscars matter immensely for people like Lily Gladstone and other people.
They can build careers.
Right. But they do not matter for somebody like Margot Robbie, who's got a career regardless of what happens. Exactly. She and Greta Gerwig and crew have cemented their career with Barbie because of the box office.
They are evergreen whether or not they win these awards. These are just mantelpieces and clout and things like that for them. Feathers in their cap.
You look at Leo DiCaprio, who's won.
Did he ever need it? Did he ever need it?
No, because he's awesome in everything. And I will say, on the record, he was snubbed for this year. Yeah. Some of his performance is a little samey, but he gives a very, very great, nuanced performance in Killers of the Flower Moon, and it's fantastic. But he got snubbed.
And DiCaprio is notorious for winning for the one. He wins for The Revenant. we have a buddy whose dad famously said Leonardo DiCaprio finally won an Oscar for the movie that nobody is ever going to watch more than once.
Right.
You know, it's like all of those Leo DiCaprio movies that everyone rewatches and have infinite replay value didn't win for any of those, but he won for The Revenant, which is a great film, but you're not popping that one on every other Saturday.
You know, the Oscars and all the talk around it are happening right now, and obviously we're doing a video about it right now, and we're talking about it. There's discussion.
Yeah.
But fast forward a couple months from now, after the next couple blockbusters and Dune Part 2 comes out, nobody's talking about this anymore. It's going to be out of sight,
out of mind.
You know, the doors are wide open now for all the females out there to get their hands on big IPs and make what they can out of it. They've been doing it with Marvel, for better or worse, and it took Margot Robbie and just, you know, lightning in a bottle for this one to make that much money. It doesn't need to win any awards. It will still be Barbie. It will still be revolutionary for them. It's still a win.
And here's the unfortunate thing is by March 10th, which shout out to my older brother, that's his birthday. By March 10th, these films are going to be even, all these films that were big in late 2023 and the second half of 2023 are going to feel even more like things of the past. You know, I've said before that I think the Oscars show needs to kind of speed up its turnaround a little bit. March 10th feels a little late into the year to be announcing and celebrating all of the awarded films from the previous year. I think if they're hunting for this relevancy and they're hunting for this immediacy and they're hunting for this attention, they've got to speed up the timetable a little bit here. You know, the nominations should be in early January or by mid-January, and the award show should be in February. You know, that's just, in my opinion, it just needs to be, those few weeks difference can just make them that much more relevant and that much more immediate to films that are out and films that recently came out.
Yeah, I agree. And shout out to my brother. His birthday is also March 10th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Wow. Both of our older brothers are March 10th?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
No wonder we're so similar in our personalities.
Oh, goodness.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so, you know, I think that's pretty much going to be it. We're not going to get into this long discussion here because we can talk forever, I'm sure, about the Oscars, but for a lot of people, they do really matter. It gets them that job security, even just to be nominated. Mm-hmm. And real quick, I want to touch on Bradley Cooper because of this. A lot of people are saying that his maestro and his performance and his directing and all that is Oscar bait. Look, every single actor out there and actress wants to win that award.
Yeah.
Every single time they want to win it.
Mm-hmm.
They might say that they don't, but they really do.
Every time they land one of those meaty roles with the big monologues or the big dramatic turns or that crying behind the driving, the steering wheel of a car scene, or that punching the mirror and screaming scene, like they're all going for it. They'd love to have it. If they say they don't, most of them are lying.
But, you know, Bradley Cooper probably won't walk away with anything this year. And I mean, it's the truth. You know, he got shut out at the Golden Globes and everywhere else. But Bradley Cooper will still have a career forever. Yeah. I mean, he's got Spielberg producing his movies now. Yeah. Ever since A Star is Born.
He'll get there.
Yeah, he's going to get it.
And it'll be one of those things where after years, everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's finally going to win. This is finally his year. Yeah. It'll be his year one day, you know?
This is Nolan's year. After 12 movies, the greatest filmmaker of the 21st century is going to walk away with, I bet you, all three of those awards. I think he's going to get 3 Oscars. That
Nolan is up for.
Directing,
that would be incredible.
Producing, and adapted screenplay.
The biggest miscarriage of justice here would be if Oppenheimer gets 13 nominations and somehow gets like less than 3 or 4 of them. Like if it is this weird,
no way.
If it's this weird thing where it gets all the nominations but somehow none of the wins, I would be outraged.
No. So I know that there's a conversation about Paul Giamatti winning for The Holdovers.
No.
I'm pulling for Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
The Oscars I think it will probably not get is Emily Blunt supporting.
Yeah, that's a long shot.
Right? I think that's a long shot. Mm-hmm. And then everything else, and maybe not makeup and hairstyling.
Yeah, because that's not really the wheelhouse of Oppenheimer. I mean, I'm shocked a movie like Barbie didn't get nominated for makeup and hairstyling. Right. And people are like, oh, that's not what it means. Well, Suicide Squad in 2016 won the Oscar for makeup and hairstyling.
That's an Oscar-winning film.
so yeah, sometimes it is like the superficial thing.
And that was Margot Robbie.
Exactly, yeah. So sometimes it is like for makeup and hairstyling, which... I'm not trying to be condescending, but like that's really an Oscar category. Yeah. It feels like from a bygone era, back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, when that was like a more
there should be a stunt work
something
category.
You know, maybe a little bit of a change up or an adjustment. Makeup and hairstyling feels like I've never watched a movie and be like, wow, the makeup and hairstyling was just Oscar caliber.
So it might not win that. It might not win like costume design either.
Yeah.
So if you take away the 2 from the 13, that leaves it what, 11?
It's still 11, but that it has a great chance at any of those.
Right. So I'm thinking maybe 1 or 2 surprise snubs with like maybe editing or whatever. Who knows?
An even 10 would be cool, but man, tying that record 11 would be cool. And dude, that Dirty Dozen would be cool too. You know, it doesn't hurt to dream.
I mean, I think it's a lock for Best Picture. It's a lock for Best Director.
It should be.
It's a lock for, I think, best score, original
should
score.
Be. All the technical stuff, the editing, the cinematography, the score, sound design. I think it should be a lock for those.
RDJ is a lock.
Yes, he's got to be. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think Killian's a lock.
Yeah.
Those are all pretty surefire.
Yeah, it's got to be at least like half a dozen that are locked. And only a few that are up in the air.
Anything else, and I'm going to riot.
Yeah.
And I will forever quit and be done.
It needs at least like those 5 big ones, 5 or 6 big ones for sure.
And the Oscars matter to me for that reason.
Yeah, the actor, supporting actor, picture, director, adapted screenplay, musical score, cinematography. I think like it's got to get those, you know, but we'll see.
This has been a discussion about why the Oscars matter and why they don't matter.
Yeah. If Oppenheimer doesn't win anything, then the Oscars are more irrelevant than ever, and they suck, and everyone should stop watching them until a good movie gets nominated again. until Nolan comes around again, then we can all care again.
I agree. So let us know what you think about the Oscars.
No bias.
Let us know what you think. Who do you think is going to get snubbed? Who do you think is going to win? Who you're voting for?
Do you feel the Kenergy?
Yeah, not actually voting for because, we're not Academy members, but who are you rooting for, I should say.
Pulling for.
So, all right, well, that's going to do it. Let us know, and thanks for listening.